Well, hello. Hello, beautiful people. Happy Thursdays. Happy hot topics to all of you. It is I, Whimsy, the Oracle of Whimsy. Happy tea time. I have moved on from my tea and now I have some ice water. Boy, here in Portland, you can feel that we are leaving. I think the groundhog might have gotten it wrong. At least where Portland, Oregon is concerned, because I'm really feeling spring has sprung. I'm feeling like it is a hot, hot Thursday. Rebecca got my hair cut yesterday. I'm feeling young and frisky. Anyway, yes, things are quite crazy in the world right now. Quite crazy. So there's a lot for us to talk about. I am your host, Whimsy. And oops. And as I said, I'm broadcasting from somewhere in downtown Portland, Oregon. This is our Thursday get together. Anything and everything goes, hot topics. Anything you guys want to talk about is fine with me. We are sending prayers to the people of Turkey. I guess I was looking at the news before I came on today. It looks like 21,000 people have died in Turkey. So we will be doing a fundraiser for Turkey on Sunday. If you'll be coming to the Sunday show, that we do fundraisers. So we'll probably do something to help Turkey. People had requested, I think, the World Kitchen, which we have raised money for in the past. Anyway, I had a PG Tips. That was my tea. And now I have moved on to water. And now I suppose I will turn my attention to you. Tell us who you are. Where are you coming from? What you drinking? What you eating? What's the weather like? Are you okay? Hopefully, you are doing okay. Looks we had talked about privatization in the past and how they want to move everything and get away from government regulation towards privatization. It looks like this is something we can certainly throw on. George Santos said that he wants to privatize Social Security and Medicare. Won't that be a great idea? Since, privatization is so good for the country and so much cheaper than having the government run it, right? Of course, it's more expensive. We're starting to find out, and not necessarily better. But anyway, no, not George Santos. It was. Did I say George Santos? I meant Ron DeSantis is calling for yes. Privatize it. So your Social Security will be gambled on the stock market. Isn't that a great idea? Rather than a steady, consistent, it's absolute insanity. Anyway, let me go around and say hi to everybody. Hi, Sue Malik. Great to see you here. Happy Thursday to you. Catherine Zolnierowski. Oh, I'm sorry, Catherine. Zolnero. I give up. I'm sorry. Catherine, hi. Spirit Beyond the Stars, hello. Mike Pence got subpoenaed. Interesting. Pamela Doss, hello. Thank you for being a member. Thank you also, Catherine, for being a member. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. City Girl, City Girl Row, hi. How are you? Joyce Pietras, thanks for helping out today. Equus 333. Hello. Donald Lampert, hi. Thank you for being a member. Yes, that's another thing we can throw on. Many of you know, thanks for mentioning that, Donald, that George Santos, I guess, some members of the House have called for his expulsion. They've filed the documents. I said he would survive 2.5 months. He's been in there for, I think, 4 to 5 weeks now. Let's see if he leaves before then. But I predicted 2.5 months. Hi, Claudia Various. Good to see you. Majay Baker, hello from Colorado Springs. Hi, Julianne. Christy Price, hello. Thank you for being a member. Joanne Smith, thank you for being a member. Sandra Wells, thank you for being here. Things are moving fast politically. They are. Desiree Robato, hello. Rebecca, hot, hot, hot. It is going to be hot. Stargazer, hello. She's from West by God, Virginia. Very nice. That is God's country. It's supposed to be a beautiful state. Lady Di 12, hello. Good to see you as well. Julianne, Century, Wisconsin. Joel Tilson, I know, is in Wyoming, I believe, right, Joel? Good to see you. Thanks for helping out today. Sunny Valera, hello. I'll keep saying hi to people. Hi, Geocosmic Valentine. Well, also Ron DeSantis trying to erase African American history, which is impossible. But he's getting a backlash, thank God, in Florida. We can definitely look at that. I tried to do some remote views last night for people. One of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to go back and just see if I could access information about things that I've read about in the past. The question I had last night during the remote views was, again, going back to the history of investigations into all the corruption and all the horrible things we've seen in this country, which I think it's linked to privatization, greed, corruption, selling our country out from under us, throwing out infrastructure, throwing out regulation, right? They want to get rid of regulation. They want to get rid of infrastructure. They want to get rid of government agencies, and they want to give all the money to their friends, and they want to take your Social Security and gamble it on their friends' businesses. So this is going to make them wealthier than ever. And that's what's been happening since Reagan. They've been getting wealthier than ever. And we're paying more and more taxes than ever. But I went in and I was trying to access information about Bill Barr. And the reason was because of the fact that we never really had a resolution about Bill Barr, did we? So much has come out now about his engaging in what you could only interpret as obstruction of justice, weaponizing the DOJ, going after Michael Cohen. I mean, real crimes being committed. And you can't help but wonder when you look at the energy of Bill Barr, is he facing possible criminal charges? You know, could we, in a theoretical world, could we see him possibly, sort of close something here, facing obstruction of justice? Could these people someday be charged? And I think it's entirely possible, given the fact that, you know, he's doing this cleanup tour. He's getting on Bill Maher, trying to make himself look nice. But I think that that's entirely possible. I also wanted to look at Fanny Willis, because I had felt like she could file this week, and that didn't happen. So I thought, well, you know, I could have gotten it wrong. She talked about charges being imminent, and that was 3 weeks ago. So what's going on with Fanny Willis? And I thought, number one, either I was wrong about the date, it happens, or number two, the DOJ has asked her to hold off on charges until they've completed their investigation, and they have their own grand jury, which is being headed by Jack Smith, and maybe some aspects of double jeopardy, because he could be state charged and federally. Some of the people could be state and federally charged. So energetically, it felt like they may have requested her to hold her indictments until the DOJ has completed its investigation and its own grand jury. So that's basically because I got the impression she was ready to file an indictment Monday, Tuesday, and the only reason that she wouldn't have done it would have been a request by the feds to hold off because of their own investigation. So we can certainly look at that today to figure out if A, I just got the date wrong, or B, it was because of request by DOJ. There are some conversations going on about state and federal charges, issues regarding double jeopardy, and the fact that we did have that grand jury be completed over election meddling, and the fact that there's currently a grand jury going on with Jack Smith as well for the January 6th insurrection and people attempting to claim that it was stolen, etc. Another thing that I thought people would want to talk about has to do with SpaceX. It looks like they are not wanting the Ukrainian troops to use SpaceX satellite technology for their drone systems. And as we talked about, the Russian offensive is heating up in the east, so it's very important that they be able to have access to their drone systems. There's a lot of criticism coming out now about SpaceX. Absolutely, we can look at that. The good news coming out today on the numbers. Another thing we can talk about is that it looks like there's a mild to unlikely that a recession is going to happen. I think that I was with the other readers on this. Sometimes the readers don't agree, but we will follow the energy to its natural conclusion. And I don't think any of us saw a recession. We might have seen a mild glitch. There have been some layoffs with some major companies, but the jobs report was the strongest since before World War II. I mean, during World War II, excuse me, post World War II, I don't know, whenever they had the huge surge. So, and also spending remains high despite inflation, which is going down. So this does it does not look like we're headed towards a recession after all. So that's some good news coming out from the feds. I think that what I would like to do is do the empath's prayer and then blitz, blitz, blitz away. I do have my own things I want to look at a little bit. Oh, was there anything else? Oh, and people are wondering if MTG is going to be censored. Yeah, I think it's very possible. Her behavior, people are calling for her to be censored due to her acting like, I don't know what you would describe it, some kind of, I don't know, rather undignified. We can say that the Republicans are tired of this undignified behavior. And I think they recognize that it's not good for their brand. So MTG's in trouble. Boebert, we did a remote view on Boebert recently that did not look good. It almost looked like they were going to try and get her physically out of there. A banshee, people have said banshee, howler monkeys, baboons. I don't like to use terms like that, but it certainly isn't the way we want our lawmakers to behave when they're in our house, when they're in Congress, when they're in our Capitol, and they're supposed to be there representing us, the people. And it's certainly not appropriate. I wouldn't have approved of that kind of behavior even with presidents that I didn't support, because it's not in keeping with, it's not in keeping, for example, with how we run this channel. We say be kind to all so that all can be kind to you. We feel like people should be civilized adults and be able to conduct themselves appropriately. So, yeah, looks like she's facing a possible censor, which I think is appropriate because her behavior was atrocious. Okay, so are we ready for the empath prayer and to do some blitzes? Maybe look at the royals today, since I know you all love it so much. Some of you are, some yes, some no. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to go on there. Yes? You guys want to hear the empath prayer and do some blitzes? Are you ready? Are you ready for tonight? All right, let's do it. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. All right, so some of the questions I want to be looking at today, I'm going to go ahead and start with my own because I want to make sure I get through them, is I want to see if there is going to be any criminal charges against Bill Barr in the future for obstruction of justice. Is he in possible legal trouble? He certainly weaponized the DOJ, and you could argue, is it even legal what he did, and will there be any consequences? I'd like to see consequences. Lying about the Mueller report. Yeah, got a nice blitz away from Joyce. Thank you. Ready to go. All right. What is going on with Bill Barr? He's been told to write a book. I'm getting an information. I don't know if this has happened yet, but to clean up and justify his behavior, he may write a book. But his time in the spotlight is coming to an end. So he's writing a book. You can see Empress as a creative endeavor. It can be an artistic and writing a book. So he is trying to clean up his reputation by writing. There are a lot of people that got hurt, and his policies at the DOJ hurt people. I also see that immigrants were hurt a lot under the Trump administration, and people were going to be charged, and then all of a sudden the charges were dropped. People were left confused. It's very strange. It's kind of like when they arrested all of those people who came in on the border, but they didn't have anywhere to put them, and it was the middle of Christmas. So they drove them to the Greyhound bus station in Texas, and the people were ready to go to jail or whatever, and they released them all and said, good luck, and drove away. And the people were, because they just had too many people, and they were told to get rid of all these people that were being brought in. So they just released them all, just go. So you have some confusion. This can be an immigrant's card, 6 of Swords, to go to smoother water, and complete confusion. So cases that were in limbo, people that were threatened, they were treated terribly, and then the cases are just dropped. But it looks like he is trying to clean his reputation up. He's going to be coming out with a book, going to be making money off of a book. I don't know if at this time I see him being charged. I don't like the fact that it shows him writing a book and actually making money off of it. Yeah. Karma, success, money. Oh, right now, still not seeing justice where he's concerned. And A lot of them did that, though. That's also what Kushner did. Write a book, clean up your reputations, and that's the idea of what he's trying to do. The other thing I wanted to look at really fast had to do with investigations into criminal activity in New York. As some of you know, uh, there's been some strange things in New York. How bad is the corruption in the FBI field office? People were taking bribes. Hillary Clinton, of course, was the senator of New York. Was there a concerted effort by a group of people in New York working with the mob in New York, along with the FBI, et cetera, to kind of undermine her? And will there be any future arrest or any more charges out of New York? And that includes the police, turning a blind eye to corruption, taking money from the mafia, helping to try and weaponize information. Still haven't, we still don't have Julian Assange extradited to the United States. They have located a cryptocurrency account, one of his cryptocurrency accounts. That may help the feds find out who was paying him. All right, so we're just looking at the feds in New York and if any more charges against corrupt officers in New York. Yeah, it looks like something's going on in New York with the new DA. There was a lot of corruption. For example, I know that I believe it was the former, was it the AG or the DA was caught strangling people or something like that. He had some strangulation and rape allegations, and Trump had dirt on him, and he was going to charge Trump, but Trump may have been blackmailing him. So you have this, here's the police. Here's the truth coming out against them, hopes and fears that it will be buried. There's concern that some of the cases against the police in New York will be buried. The Queen of Wands is coming in. Letitia James, probably. Yes, they're in trouble. There's more charges coming. Yeah, and there's something about Letitia James being successful in getting some type of convictions. I guess also Trump is agreeing that his DNA, they're going to take his DNA. I mean, it's getting really bad with Trump, but you can see over the police, over the feds in New York, Ten of Swords, they will be betrayed by their own. Justice coming in, and also King of Wands, hopes and fears, and advance of an investigation. I think that this is a strong woman. It could be Letitia James, and a partnership is coming in to help with an investigation. There's more bad. This reminds me of that movie Serpico. Anybody ever see the movie Serpico about corruption in the New York police? And how they were taking money from drug dealers, and Serpico had to move, I think, to Switzerland or something. So, yeah, it looks like more charges coming out against him. All right, so yes, Al Pacino played the cop. I don't think it works like that because he has to show up and then they have to do a blood draw. So I don't think it's. Yeah, I think it's Serpico with an S. Yeah, but unfortunately, No, I think Epstein is dead, and I'm not in agreement with other people that say he was murdered. I think he committed suicide because before he was arrested, we did a tarot card reading in remote view, and he said to us before his arrest, "This hell will never end." And Ghislaine says he killed himself, that he suffered from chronic depression. It was an addiction like heroin. He couldn't stop himself. He couldn't stop his addiction to children. And he was he had become like the mark of Cain. Everybody hated him. So it was he had the only thing he had to look forward to was more lawsuits, people threatening to kill him, his face plastered all over the place as a pariah, and he saw it as an addiction, like shooting up heroin. He had to do it 3 times a day. He couldn't stop himself. Um, some people argue that it's the same part of the brain, pedophilia and addiction, which is why some of the drug therapies can help with pedophilia. But no, I think he took his own life. Okay, so I'm just gonna go. I think that was everything I wanted to look at, unless you guys have some questions. Did you guys want me to check on? Let me check on Fanny Willis to see what the delay was. I'm getting the impression that she was asked to hold off because they're not. The feds are not done with their own grand jury, and that might be why we're seeing a delay. I don't know the law about double jeopardy or being charged with from multiple states. I don't know exactly how that works. So, um, yeah. So let's take a look at why Fanny Willis is holding off. It just feels to me like the DOJ is asking her to hold for a moment. There are people that the feds, according to this information, the feds are saying that they wanted to hold off because somebody is agreeing to cooperate with the feds and they want her to hold off on indicting that person. That is as specific as I can get. Look at this. These are the people in trouble. Look at that. Change the situation, defending their territory, hopes and fears, a plea deal. Look at this. Knight of Cups, a plea deal. So if she was going to throw the book at somebody and the feds have that person now agreeing in in a federal investigation, that could impact charges in the state in Georgia. That's basically what I'm getting. You know, it almost looks like Fannie Willis is being told that they don't want her to charge certain people because of this overlap, because of this Five of Swords. And then you have this federal grand jury and some kind of offer. God, wouldn't you love to know what this is? Offer coming out, and then the business of the feds. This is the FBI's card. So it looks like somebody flipped. Some big fish flipped. I don't know if it was Giuliani or who, and for that reason, it appears they're asking Fannie Willis to hold off just now for a minute on charges because of certain things that people are agreeing to with the feds. Oh, we have a nice donation. Lovely. Thank you, Mercedes, for that generous donation of $4.99. And thank you for the kitty cat. It's very cute. All right, let's start looking at some questions from people. We're going to go through the blitzes as fast as we can. The 14th Amendment. I don't really understand that question, Rose Blue. I thought what was the 14th Amendment? Wasn't that to end? Was it the 19th to end slavery or the 14th? I'm terrible at civics. Somebody needs to educate me. I need that question clarified. I'm sorry. Yes, Angela Mason, 200 political prisoners sent to the U.S. Yes, that's what they do. You don't like our way of life. You think we're being cruel? Great, you can take our homicidal killers. And they release them to the United States. This is kind of what Cuba did. You don't like the fact that you don't like Cuban prisons? Great, we'll send you the Cuban mafia. And just they flew them to Miami and dumped them. You guys remember that? So it may be something like that. Okay, nervous breakdown for Trump. Is Trump having do you really think somebody that you almost wonder if with his personality disorders, he's thriving, right? Does he thrive in that kind of chaos? Let us take a look. Nervous breakdown for Trump. I think he's in complete denial that anything bad's going to happen to him. It's just more investigations. Nobody charges. They just keep going more investigations. More investigations. Queen of Wands is after him. Oh, it's because of the E. Jean Carroll. This is Letitia James's card. Hopes and Fears, the Star. There's the Feds. Again, I use Queen of Pentacles as the Feds card. I always felt like the best thing he could do is turn himself in, and that the Feds would work. It's basically what Michael Cohen is now saying, that he would have to be, you couldn't put him in a regular prison, but you could put him under house arrest. And I think that if I were him, I would negotiate some kind of deal with with the state and the Feds. And because first off, because they want to bury everything. They don't want the general public to know everything about what's going on with him. You've got a Sun card coming out, but I feel like before things get too bad with this guy, we could see him cooperating or being advised to cut some kind of deal so that some of the charges are hidden and he gets home confinement. It's not what we want, but it's very likely because, you're talking about one grand jury already finishing in Georgia, another one starting in New York. Michael Cohen's helping with that one. And then is it in Virginia? Is that where, I believe it's Virginia, where Jack Smith is overseeing an investigation into January 6th. So his lawyers, if he's got any good lawyers left, could negotiate him to give some kind of, where he turns himself in exchange for a lesser sentence, and he gets to basically be under some kind of home confinement. And then once he's under home confinement, he can try and negotiate having more freedom, which is what happened to Manafort, right? Then he got himself out of it. So it could be something like that. Oh, hi, Debbie. Hi, thank you so much. I'm glad you made the live. Good to see you, Debbie Lushbaugh. Hi, Miss Brazil from Florida. Thank you so much for your donation. Much appreciated. Okay. So do I think it's a nervous breakdown? I don't know if it's a nervous breakdown so much as this is somebody who could he could con his way into a better situation than sitting back and just letting the feds continue to come after him. It would be wise for him to work on some kind of deal now before the indictment, particularly now that he's there. That would also make sense if the feds are contacting Fanny Willis, which is what it looks like, and saying, hold off, because we think we may have a cooperating witness, or one of those people is cooperating, because the cards over the feds and the cards over Fanny Willis communicating were cards that we associate with peace, a negotiation, a mediator in wartime, like a Knight of Cups. So there could be some kind of deal in the works, which would be very, very interesting. All right, let's try and see if we can get into Jack Smith. What is going on with Mr. Jack Smith? Well, if they flip, people asking about, Rose Blue is asking about flipping people. Yeah, if somebody's refusing to cooperate and you're going to throw the books at them and they don't, or somebody is going to cooperate to everything, confess to everything. And what did Robert Mueller say he wanted? You guys all remember what Robert Mueller told us 4 years ago? What did he want from Donald Trump? He said he wanted a signed, sealed confession in exchange for immunity. So that's potentially still on the table. So if Fanny Willis is about to publicly throw the book at Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Eastman, John Eastman, is that how you say his name? These people that were harassing Georgia, Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, then if they have come forward of their own accord with their attorney and are saying, we're willing to give you anything and everything in exchange for some kind of a deal, you could theoretically then call the state and say, hold off, because the feds think they have a deal. Could you negotiate something like that? Because I believe the feds did that with another case, if I'm not so sure. I think that they may have done that with an investigation with Trump in New York. Are they doing that also in Georgia? Possibly, yes, based on that. All right, Jack Smith. Well, that's when you realize it's not a joke, when you're in front of a grand jury and they're about to slam the book on you. At that point, you'd better, what does Oprah Winfrey call it? Your come to Jesus moment, right? You start to realize that nobody wants to play your game anymore. You're about to go to prison for the rest of your life. The main thing I get from Jack Smith is that he just follows the law. So if he's told to move the investigation in one direction, he'll move it in that direction. It's all about following the law, doing what he's told to be doing, following the instructions the way that he was told to, in accordance with the law. The Queen of Swords, Lady Justice. There's a new beginning taking place. Yeah, that's my water. Do you want it? Go ahead. Hopes and fears. Federal investigation. 10 of Cups. Something is about to break. Something is about to break with this, and I don't know what it is. I think so. I think that see, he doesn't want to make deals. He doesn't want to make. This came up. Remember this? We asked this last time on Sunday. Something about growing evidence. Certain people that want to make deals are not going to get deals. They're on the home stretch right now with this investigation. 10 of Cups with this, 6 of Swords. Hi. Do you want to sit in your special power seat? Excuse me. She's making me sneeze. I love you. Why don't you sit up there so that you get to see outside? I love you to death, but you make me cough. Yeah, there's some kind of new beginning in spring. This could be actual charges coming out in spring. There are certain people he doesn't want to do a deal with. Jack Smith doesn't want to make a deal, but there is somebody willing to come forward and give evidence that could get somebody off. Somebody lower down the chain. I guess Trump would be the big fish, right? So that's what I see with Jack Smith. So that's interesting. They had said springtime, and it is looking like springtime because Page of Wands is a spring card. What was the Chinese balloon all about? Well, supposedly it was moving around and coming back again, and I guess it had some spy equipment in it. That's what we're hearing. I didn't know if it's true. Let's look at the spy balloon. And now China is saying, our relationship with you is fine. We're not going to fight with you. So I don't think the Chinese government wants trouble. And their economy is a mess. It is a bit of a mess. Okay, spy balloon. It had to do with spying. High priestess, trying to get hidden information. I think it has harmed U.S.-Chinese relations. But the thing is, when this stuff happens, Wendy, it's an opportunity for us to renegotiate our relationship with China. We will work out our issues with China. You can see here something coming out, a hidden revealed. There's the Ace of Swords, which is victory. They don't want to lose their trade. Something about secrets coming out, Six of Pentacles. I think they were looking at troops, but I think that's not all. A lot of spying with China actually is not military. It has to do with patents, trying to get drug patents, like vaccine information, etc. The final outcome, this is also a territorial issue, Seven of Wands, to defend one's territory, Nine of Cups. We will work it out with China. We are not going to have, China has bigger fish to fry. They have to save their country because they have really overextended themselves. They need to pull back on supposedly some of their projects they've just abandoned. So as a result of that, they may just have to sell what they can so that they can get their money back. And because they've got a lot of abandoned projects in China. Charity begins at home. Yeah, so Linda Kingsley said some good stuff about the balloon. She says that China had monitoring systems. So they know what they know what they were doing. So they were monitoring things, but they could have also been monitoring military. They could have been monitoring companies, all kinds of things. It's spying. I mean, there's so much of that stuff that goes on. Yeah, this is something else that's come up that Joel Tilson is mentioning, has to do with the Philippines. People were concerned that Taiwan was going to be attacked by China. So one of the things that the United States has done is built up its troops, building troops in the Philippines, Australia, and India as well, I believe, because of concerns about rising threats. Yeah. Oh, Delilah Gillis said something interesting here. She says that Mary Trump donated her DNA. So that's interesting. Wow. This is something that's come up quite a bit, both if you look at like international trade, people talking about this issue of the great Chinese sell-off. Will we be seeing a sell-off of so much stuff that it could have an impact on, say, the worth of US real estate or something like that? Could they just, in an attempt to, because people had their money in Chinese banks, they couldn't get their money out. People had given money to build apartments, and now the apartments are incompleted and abandoned. Will China, in a mad dash to get cash quick, which is a problem because they were closed for 3 years, just start selling assets to pay for the completion of those projects? Let's take a look. It's a good question. Well, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do we sell off our national parks to China? What do you think? What is China going to do about their economic, what do they have? What do they call it? Poor cash flow or negative cash flow? I don't know what they call it. But they're trying to be sunny. They're saying we're bouncing back faster than ever. It's like, I think you're kind of exaggerating what's really going on in China. It's a lot worse than that. I mean, we can see the film footage of people screaming because they can't get their money out of the bank. Oh, it's not that bad. I think if there was a run on the U.S. banks, it'd be pretty bad. I think if we put all our money into an apartment that turned out to be a big hole in the ground, it would be pretty bad. Chinese marching into victory. The other in relationship offering money. Hopes and fears to abandon the projects. Final outcome, negotiating. Yeah, they're going to start selling projects. We could start seeing them selling projects and selling real estate between now and August of 2023. We could see a dip in the housing market as a result. You can see here, 6 of Wands, they're marching into victory. That can also be a 6-month period. This is my August card. It's also quick. We're now in February, March, April, May, June, July. 6-month would be August. Within 6 months, the month of August, huge chunks of money being offered. This is She's card. Walking away, having to abandon projects. They could try and sell the projects to another country. They could try and they will be able within a year to balance their books. But yeah, they are, you can see here, experts coming in and mastery. But yeah, be lean and mean, be frugal. Don't it's like running your own business. You don't want to have more house than you can afford. And unfortunately, if you don't work for 3 years, which is what happened to China, you're going to be late on your rent. So yeah, looks like they're going to be selling off stuff between now and August, but they will be in a better place by next year. If they're aggressive about it, if they aggressively pursue getting a cash flow, they'll be fine. But they've also evidently started abandoning stuff in Africa. I was reading that they've just given up on certain projects, which is a drag for those countries that were actually looking forward to certain infrastructure projects. Okay, this question is coming from Melissa Miller. She wants to know, will the U.S. begin to control the amount of foreign property ownership, especially by certain countries? Good question. Do you feel that the problem is bad enough to where it's having an impact on the price of homes in the United States? Yes or no? The price of farming land in the United States? Yes or no? And if so, is it driving rents and property prices up so high that even working Americans can't afford a place to live? Or do you think it's the fact also that they're not raising salaries? Is it a combination of both? I don't know. What do you think? Well, it goes back to the issue of privatization, people that are into private. So people that are making money off of selling off the country, right? They want Social Security to be private. Yeah, they want and it's all based on this myth that things are going to get better, but things are getting worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Don't go public, go private. No, stay public. Don't get rid of people's pensions. Don't get rid of Social Security. Don't get rid of the post office. Just chipping, tearing apart the infrastructure of the government. And you have the Bureau of Land Management. Are they just going to start getting rid of those areas that are protected lands? How far are they going to take this? So ultimately, it's something where Americans have to be educated about it. But the King of Swords is very cold, analytical. The other, becoming wealthy, is the wealth is in the other's card chart. It's in the eighth house. The opposition becomes wealthy. The hopes and fears movement. So it's just like America used to be this rich country, but privatization, selling off the land, depression of wages, loss of pensions, all those things have no health care, no affordable health care. Everything has come together. It's culminated in creating a very, very hard life for most American citizens, to the point where Americans are now having to flee, move to other countries. Americans are immigrating to Mexico, to India, and then that's driving so now we're doing the same thing, and we're leaving to other countries, which is driving the price up. So now the Mexicans are angry because the Americans are coming in, driving in prices so that the Mexicans can't afford it. So it becomes this ripple effect. Chariot would be to move. Final outcome is the Hierophant, which I read as the Constitution. So we have wealth and theft over the other. We got to get people off this kick where they're afraid of social programs, where they're being gaslit into believing that there's something inherently wrong with having social programs and a pension and a working government. It is really gaslighting the country to the demise of our standard of living. I don't like this, working with this is like having an affair. This is theft and wealth. The other runs off with our stuff. It's almost like how could it's almost like they are equating patriotism with capitalism, which makes no sense. Is it constitutional to be capitalist? I don't think so. We have to strengthen the government. We have to strengthen the government and government programs. And we will. So I think in answer to your question, probably we will have to put the kibosh on foreign governments. It's not just foreign governments, it's also people that became wealthy in the 80s, 90s, 2000, beyond, because of these opportunities that were given to the rich. So now you have people like Bill Gates buying up massive amounts of farmland. Should we allow that kind of thing to happen, that kind of consolidation of land, etc., so that the rest of us become landless peasants and the new lords have taken over the land, and we're back in an economic system that's not much different than what Europe looked like in the 11th century. That's the concern. So yeah, we have to fight against it. So I would say yes, we can still fight against it. All right, let's see here. All right, Ace of Cups, looking into the future of Ron DeSantis. He's an odd duck because why would anyone like him? I'm still baffled how he won in Florida, given his behavior. Uh, he he hasn't been very nice, has he? All right, let's see what the future of Ron DeSantis is. So it's interesting when you go into this energy. One of the things you feel with Ron DeSantis is that people like him because he can win Florida, but he can't win Pennsylvania. He can't win Michigan. Uh, his politics don't translate into the rest of the United States. Also, his cards indicate poverty, and this is to pack up and move. It's to carry a heavy load. He's going to do something. There's something here about he's going to do something that is going to piss off the people in Florida. It's not just there's been some protest about cutting out African American studies, but this is also looking like other communities, the Cuban American community, other communities possibly coming out against him. There's something about people breaking away from, confused and breaking away from him. I don't think he's going to be the one they pick. I really feel he's too extreme, and I think Republican strategists are really moving away from this kind of extremism. I don't think that, they see the writing on the wall. This kind of extreme, crazy behavior cost them a lot of elections and a lot of seats. It looks like George Santos is definitely leaving, given the latest developments. So who knows how long they're even going to be able to hold the House. If they don't move towards moderation, then I can't see them winning another major election for a long time with those types of cards. So no, I don't think he will be their nominee. I could be wrong, but his cards don't suggest that. All right, let us go ahead. We're going to do one more throw, and I guess we will call it a day after that. Yeah, democratic socialism works and also a strong government works, where you make sure that your government employees have health care, no insurance, they just have health care. Get rid of the insurance companies. They just have the government health care plan, and they have a pension. The privatization is the worst thing that's happened to this country. One of the worst things that's happened for the average American worker. Breaking the backs of the unions. The average senior citizen is getting $1,000 a month in Social Security, and they're living in their car, sick, without medical care. That's inexcusable in a country this wealthy. So privatization's done nothing to help our country. I mean, it's insane the number. We have such high homelessness numbers. I mean, it's starting to look like a third world country. It's I really hope the average American can snap out of this delusion about privatization and go back. It's our money, and we want it to go towards strengthening our government, pensions for our workers, free health care like it used to be. We're moving in the wrong direction. No, we don't want you to gamble with our Social Security on the stock market. That's insane. All right, let's look at Lindsey Graham. Insane, insane, insane. That's how she gets when she sees a bird. You see the focus? Look at that. She doesn't want the bird to see her. Does it see you, Mila? All right. Well, his reputation is toast. I don't know if he'll go to prison, but he's having to defend himself in ways that are pretty bad. You can see he's the King of Swords. His opposition is in a position of power. I'm assuming that's Biden. Man, talk about a relationship, a friendship that's truly over. There's evidence against him. And look at him. He's defending himself. Maybe he will be charged with something. I think he could be charged with a minor. Somebody's giving him a Hail Mary. I think he could be facing some kind of minor charges in the spring. Yeah, that's what's happening. You can see here, there's an opportunity for something here with the Six of Cups, but look at his final outcome. And look at him defending his actions. Yeah? Did it fly away? Yeah? W2. It'll come back again. You just got to be patient. Just hold very still. And then the birdie won't see you. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is what's coming for him, and the other in a position of power in springtime. And this is him defending himself against somebody in a position of power coming at him in the spring. Something's going to go down. Be grateful you're here for the cat. Does you guys' cats do that when they see a mouse or something? They do that freeze response. It's really pretty funny. You can go like this and she'll be like, you gonna bring him some mint juleps when he's sitting in the slammer in Georgia? Well, that'd be awesome, awfully nice of you. Be very southern of you. All right, beautiful spirits. I'm gonna have to close. I have a client actually. Maybe I'll go make a cup of coffee before my client comes in. Did everybody have fun? These are crazy times. We hopefully I'll see everybody on Saturday. Thank you everyone, by the way, who's become a member. If you'd like to be a member, the join button is below this video. We have I got to do a soft sell here. We have the angels and fairies level for $2.99 a month. Yes, and we get together on Saturdays. We have a tea time at noon on Saturdays for the members, and we do free readings. So that's fun. It's a great way to support the channel. And empaths and healers, we get together and we practice remote viewing. We show you how to be a remote viewer, and that's $9.99. That's the elders, empaths, and healers level. And then the benefactors is $99 a month, and that comes with free readings and free medical intuitive sessions once a month, along with all the other benefits. So please think about being a member of the channel. It does help me continue to do this. All right, love and light to you all. If you're trying to get in for a personal reading with me, you can look at the information below this video. If you want me to pre-record your reading, I can do that as well through Wizio. I think it's $25 to $30 depending. And that information is also below this video. Love and lights to you all. Thank you, Debbie Brady, Joyce Pietris, Joel Tilson, for your help today. Pierre Walker, Geocosmic Valentine, Cartomancy, Mesquite. I think I got to everybody. Melody Harmon, thank you. Delilah Gillis, thank you. I think I got to everyone. All right, so I will see you all. If you're a member, I'll see you guys on Saturday. All right. Thank you, everyone. Be well.